Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. Welcome to the session. Can you hear me? If yes, please type yes in the chat box. The chat is open now as a confirmation. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining the session. Welcome to the day one of DevOps course. Let us stop the chat. Let us stop the chat. Thank you very much for your confirmations. Okay. What's the plan for today? In today's session, you'll understand. I'll just give a quick introduction about myself, and then we'll have a interaction with the participants. Participants, if you want to have a speak to me, please raise your hand. I'll give an opportunity to unmute. So you can have a discussion with me. We'll have an interaction. We will talk about your experience. And then we'll get into the concept of DevOps. You'll understand what is DevOps, what is the importance of DevOps, okay? Why DevOps is very important in the current industry. And we'll discuss about the schedule, the course content, what we are planning to learn in our particular batch, the timings, and the rest of all the details. Okay, so this is our plan for today. Before moving on, I'll be quickly introduction about myself. I have total 12 years of experience in the IT industry. Started my career in Oracle applications, and then I shifted my platform from Oracle applications to cloud technologies, AWS. I worked on DevOps. I worked as Python programmer also. Okay, so, and I am the founder of the organization Logic Labs Technologies. So this is about quick introduction about myself. So participants who wants to speak. If you want to speak, please raise your hand. Please mention you're from which location, your experience, and why are you planning to learn DevOps. Okay, starting with Mr. Bala Nagareddy. Good morning. You are now allowed to unmute.
Hi, Sunil.
Good morning, Bala. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Bala.
I have 3 years of experience in the IT asset management. I'm currently working in the HCL Technologies in Chennai.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, in 2019, when I passed out, that year I have learned web technologies like JavaScript, HTML, CSS. But unfortunately, due to Corona situation, I falls into the IT means IT in
Asset
IT asset
management.
management. Yeah.
So you take care of the servers infrastructure?
No, actually, we take care of the IT assets like laptops, monitors, right?
Okay.
So we are supporting globally for the client.
Very good. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you are into operations team, you can say it as.
Yeah, yes.
So,
And also I have seen your old videos in 2020. My friend has been shared your videos. I
4
have
years old
watched.
videos.
Yeah. The explanation is very clear what you are trying to explain. So it's easy to understand. So that's why I don't have the any contact information to connect with you guys. So in those videos itself, I found your
Can you
email.
see this email ID?
Yeah, yes. I have sent an email. So you replied back with the badges and everything, WhatsApp link.
Good.
Yeah. Sunil, for me,
It's very important for you to upgrade to get into the core IT industry. Bala.
yes.
Okay.
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 And
So
one more thing is actually in my organization, we do have a rotational shifts. Every month, shift has been changing. Okay. Is there any chance to get the videos paid? So,
every session is recorded. Even
okay.
today's session is recorded. Okay. After the
Okay.
session, you get a link. You can access the recording. Bala. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So option one, you can buy the live, you can enroll the live training. In case if the shift timing changes, you can attend the day-to-day recorded sessions.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can buy the old set of videos of previous batch in one single shot. It's up to you to take the decision. Okay, Nagirati?
Yeah. I need DevOps, I mean, AWS videos alone. So what you thought in
Whatever
the
you
email?
need, please send an email to support.
Yeah,
Our team will
sure.
update. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Sagar. How are you doing today?
Yeah, hi Sunil.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah,
Your location, your experience, please.
I'm actually working. I have 7+ years experience as a technical support engineer. In the various companies, I only worked as a support engineer. So I just wanted to upgrade to cloud technologies
Which
like
technology you are supporting?
uh, I'm working as a backend, support engineer. That we need to do some Python things to
Okay.
decode or adjust the code, something little bit of changes
Mhm.
to the product
No.
actually. Yeah.
Okay.
So I just
As per
wanted
the
to upgrade.
requirements.
Yeah, as per the
Okay.
requirements for the end users or customers. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm mostly work on travel industry.
Okay.
It's a
That's
UK
your
based
domain.
company, and that's my domain. Um, it's a travel tech UK based company. So
Okay, Sagar.
I hope I'm looking forward to learn more things.
How do you know about this institute?
Yeah, back in the earlier before Corona, I had planned to change my domain from tech support to cloud technologies, but when then have attended your classes, same,
Okay.
the DevOps,
So that's how you
yeah,
came to know
yeah,
about
that's
this.
I came to know about this.
Okay. All the best, Sagar. Okay, so stay
Thank you.
focused. Learning is very
Sure.
important. Retaining the knowledge is very important. And definitely you
Yeah.
can switch to better technology. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Vanati, good morning.
Hi, very good morning, Sunil. This is Vanati from Pittsburgh, actually. So, a very good night for us here.
Yeah, I know.
Um, yeah,
It's very late
so,
night for you. May I know your
yeah,
experience?
it's 12:30 now. Mm, So, first of all, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to learn with you. I heard heard about Logic Labs technologies through one of my friend, friends of friend actually. So that is how like I landed here.
Okay.
I have seen, few recordings of yours
Okay.
and which was very, very helpful.
So
And I
currently you're
found it,
working?
yes, of course, I'm working. And I'm actually working for BNY and I'm working as a, protection support engineer here, like a senior associate. And to be honest, like my career graph, like I started as a HR before 8 years. And it was like, a roller coaster ride. And now I'm here in Pittsburgh, and it is something like I wanted to learn more. I
You are
wanted to
currently in the
upgrade my.
production support, right?
Yes, I'm into production support, but
Which
that too it
product?
is. Uh, I'm into Java-based applications,
Okay.
and I work on applications like as it is a banking domain. I work on applications like DSL, LIQ, and all mainframe applications. Nearly four mainframe applications, which is not,
Okay.
which is a
Not
stable.
latest.
Yeah, not latest, but then like we concentrate mostly on Java-based applications. So this is where I am. But then like as you always know, protection support is something like here in US, unless and
It's
until
always challenging.
yes, unless and until we upgrade ourselves, like we'll be outdated. So I have
Correct.
to update myself, and I don't have any big certifications. And from a HR background, I'm sure like you would know, like I'm not a big techie.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm here to learn more and upgrade and update myself.
All the best. So
Thank
here
you so
one
much.
thing very important in DevOps. There's no much importance of programming. Okay. So
Oh, thank you so much.
participants. So not only Vanati, for all the participants, you don't need to be a programmer. You don't need to write a Java code or a .NET, whatever it is, because DevOps is
Okay.
all about understanding the tools and how exactly the tools helps in maintaining the infrastructure and understanding the client's business and implementing those tools with respect to automation. Okay. So we will enjoy the
Okay.
session.
Oh, thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you.
And one more doubt. I'm sorry for the interruption.
No problem.
I just wanted to know, like, I'm sure you will be telling us everyone, what are all the essentials, for AWS, like, what the basics
What
we
is the
have to know.
prerequisites?
Yes,
For DevOps.
prerequisites
I will
of,
cover, no
yes.
problem.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank
Whatever
you so
the
much.
prerequisites which are required for DevOps, okay,
Okay.
I will be covering in this particular batch only. Okay.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank you,
Sunil.
Bharat. Couple of more calls before getting into the actual subject. Mr. Allen, how are you doing? You're from which location?
Hey, good morning. Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. From Florida, United States. Like the other lady said, it is Eastern Zone is like 12:30 our time.
Okay.
I work for I started as I'm a Linux guy, admin, and work for a couple government contracts. Then I moved into DevOps using some of the tools. But I wanted to have fundamental training about it, even though I still work there as a DevOps junior, DevOps engineer junior. But I wanted to learn more myself. Like she said, you have to upgrade yourself. In the US here, the technology
right.
is so fast. If you
You are
don't
right.
meet up, you're gonna be left behind. So I appreciate the time to learn with you. Thank you, sir.
Sure. You'll have a better guided approach, okay, from my end to have more streamlined learning. And how do you know about this institute?
If like she said, things flies around. A friend of mine, I used to work for the government, said, send it to me, so I immediately paid. I think after this class, I'm going to take the machine learning. His name is Francis. He's taking the course machine learning.
Okay.
So I told him I want to finish with this, and I'll take the machine learning.
Keep learning. All the best. Thank you,
And
Alan.
I sent a couple of friends your information. They might be reaching out to you to register for some of the courses you have. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you very much. One more final call, Mr. Manas. Good morning, Manas. I can see your hand raised. Welcome. Your location, your experience, please. Let's proceed.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you, Manas?
Yeah, hi Sunil. Yeah, I'm good. Hope you are doing well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so
Please proceed.
okay. I'm having 8+ years of experience in IT industry and having different type of projects like involved in release management, deployment management, and currently I'm working as production support guy. As a, you can say, Tier 1 or Tier 2 support. So we do not have that much depth knowledge technically, but still we need to support technical based projects. Like currently I'm have opportunity to get involved in DevOps kind of project where I can see the dashboard like Jenkins, from Prometheus, Grafana, and
Monitoring.
Kubernetes. Yeah, monitoring team, Splunk, Jira. So, as a Tier 1 and Tier 2 support, you can understand like how much interaction we'll have, but I'm not satisfied with that.
Okay.
I want to upgrade myself so that I can get into properly
Sure.
DevOps projects, DevOps kind of technical stuffs. I'm interested to get into that. So that's the reason I have enrolled for this.
Thank you, Manas. You are in the right technology, you're in the right path. Having upgraded to this set of DevOps tools will definitely make your career more comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
thank you so much.
Participants, I'm suffering with some cold, cough, and illness. Please please excuse me. So let's get started. Before understanding DevOps, we should have an understanding on SDLC. Let's spend some time understanding software development lifecycle. After understanding software development lifecycle, then we will get into the core concept of DevOps. So before getting into DevOps, we will be discussing on, we'll spend some time about SDLC, stands for Software Development Lifecycle. What does that mean? On a high level, let's try to understand. We'll be very quick. We'll be very quick. We'll be very specific. Okay, so let's get started with software development lifecycle. What does that mean? Assuming a client a banking client, assume ICICI Bank, needs an internet banking application. Every client needs an application. Assuming an ICICI Bank needs an internet banking application. So client approaches software development companies like Infosys, TCS, whatever it is. Client will approach IT companies. Client will give the requirements. IT companies will take the requirements. As per the requirements, they develop the project and deliver it to the client. This is what happens. Am I right? Client always have requirements. Their application specific requirements. Always the requirements are given to the IT company. IT company will understand the requirements. They satisfy the requirements and deliver the product to the client. This is what happens. In the process of development of application, when client gives a requirement, when client like ICICI Bank gives the requirements to the software development companies, there is a professional approach of building a product and delivering it to the customer or client. IT companies cannot build a product in ad hoc basis. The product development companies cannot build a product in ad hoc basis. There is a professional, streamlined approach right from gathering the requirements to delivering the product to the customer. This is a professional approach. The approach, the standard approach followed by the IT companies, right from taking the requirements from the client and delivering the product, is nothing but the software development lifecycle. The series of steps followed by the IT companies, right from receiving the requirements from the client to delivering the product to the customer. That streamlined professional approach is nothing but software development lifecycle. As you can see, there are several models using which software companies can take the requirements and deliver the product to the customer. The different models, the different approaches followed by the IT development companies for taking the requirements and delivering the product to the customer. As you can see, the waterfall model and the agile model. There are many other models like spiral model, V model. There are different approaches followed by the software development companies to deliver the product to the customer. I am limiting myself to two popular approaches. One is waterfall model and agile model. Let's spend some time only on these two approaches. One is waterfall model, the other one is agile model. So companies can build a product and deliver it to the customer using waterfall model, as well as same product can be delivered using agile model. Same product can be delivered using spiral model, V model. There are different models using which the product is built. I'm limiting myself in this session with respect to only two models, waterfall model and agile model. These two are very popular. To start with, I will be discussing on waterfall model. Waterfall model is first software development lifecycle. The first model of its kind. The first model, the first professional approach by the IT companies to build a product is a waterfall model. Okay, so how exactly the products are built using waterfall model? Let's try to understand. This is how the waterfall model looks like. I said I will be very specific. I'll be very quick because there are a lot of things on high level we are covering. A model software development lifecycle is a series of steps followed by the right companies to deliver the product to the clients. So this is how a waterfall model looks like. If you observe the waterfall model, the first stage is requirement stage. The first stage is requirements. Not only waterfall model, every model starts with requirements. It can be waterfall model, it can be agile model, spiral model, V model, any model. The first step is always taking the requirements. If you look at the waterfall model also starts with gathering the requirements. There'll be regular meetings between the client and the software development company. In our example, ICICI Bank and a company like Infosys. There are regular meetings and they understand the requirements very, very clearly. One of the most important stage is the requirement stage. If the requirements, understanding the requirements are right, then only we end up delivering the right product. If the requirement understanding is wrong, if understanding the requirements is wrong, obviously we end up the wrong product. So the most important stage is the requirement stage. So in the requirement stage, there will be regular meetings between the client and the IT development company. It is very important for the product development company to take the requirements of the client. The product development company responsibility is to take all the possible questions, strike with all possible questions, make sure that the requirements are very clear. Once the requirements are done, once the requirements gathering is done, observe what happens in the next stage. As you can see in the slide, analysis happens. Second stage is analysis. What happens in the analysis stage? The technology components are decided. What happens after gathering the requirements? The technology components are decided. Should we develop the product using Python? Should we develop the product using Java? Or should we develop your technology using Microsoft.NET? What should be the database? Should we use NoSQL database? Should we use Microsoft SQL Server? Should we use Oracle database? Or should we use SQL Server database? Or should we use MongoDB? What the backend component? What is the middleware? Three-tier architecture. What should be the application server? Should we deploy it in WebLogic? Or should we deploy it in Tomcat? So what should be the middleware? The technology components are decided in the analysis part. First is requirements. After the requirements, on what technology the product should be developed. What technology should be used in building the product. That happens in analysis part. After analysis happens, once the technology decision is done, the design part happens. The entire project is divided into, in the design stage, the entire project is divided into modules. Coming to banking application, savings account one module, corporate banking one module, NRI banking one module, credit cards one module, debit cards one module, customer care one module, wealth banking one module. The entire project is divided into modules, breakdown. That happens in the design stage. Data flow diagrams, the user interface, user experience is designed. So in this particular design stage, you can experience the application on paper. You can visualize the application in the design stage. This is how it looks like. Got it? The entire project is broken up into modules, the user interface, the workflows, how the navigation happens, how the data flows, how the data is designed. So this happens in the design part. In the design part, you can experience how the application looks like on a paper. Okay, so what happens? I'm talking about waterfall model, always requirements, technology components are decided, design happens. Once the design happens, next comes to coding. The design reports are given to the coding part. Here comes the role of a programmer. They take the design documents, how the page should be designed, where the buttons needs to be placed, how the application should be worked. Here comes the role of a programmer. The programmers will jump into action. In the coding part, programmers will jump into action. They take the documents from the design team, and as per the design, they start developing the code. The application is in the development process. This is what happens in the coding part. Assuming the coding has been completed, participants, assume the coding has been completed, application is ready. Obviously, once the coding is completed, application is ready. Once the coding is completed, obviously, next part is testing part. Testing team will jump into action. Testing team will check whether the application is working as per the requirements or not. That's the role of a tester. Testing team will jump into action. They test whether the application is perfectly behaving as per the requirements or not. Assuming positive, testing is perfectly done, application is perfectly working, everything is good. Assume everything is possible, then we deliver the product to the customer. Customer will accept the application. This is the approach of waterfall model. This is how the applications are built using waterfall model. Got it? First of its kind. Software development lifecycle started with the first model called as waterfall model. This is how the products are built in waterfall. Now, coming back, waterfall model is not used now. This model, what I have just now explained, is an outdated model. The waterfall model, which we have just now discussed, we have spent approximately 10 to 15 minutes understanding the steps involved in the waterfall model. This is used probably 2 decades back. 20 years back, waterfall model was used. Now, the waterfall model is not used in the industry. There are better models now. Waterfall model is suffering with some disadvantages. I am sure most of you know the problems with waterfall model, but let me explain 2 important problems why the waterfall model is not preferred. We'll understand the problems with waterfall model, and then we move to the most preferred model in the industry, that is right now agile model, which is very, very important for the DevOps engineers. We'll discuss the problem with the waterfall model. We'll understand how exactly waterfall model is suffering with some disadvantages. And then we'll have a comparative analysis on agile model. So what's the problem with the waterfall model? Have a look at it. I'm sure you know it, but let's discuss about the disadvantages of waterfall. The most important disadvantage, there's a dependency between one team to other team. As the name suggests, waterfall, we need to waterfall from top to bottom. Step-by-step approach. Requirements should be taken. Only after requirements has been taken, then we move on to next stage called analysis. After the analysis has been completed, the design team will jump into action. One team after other team. Once the design is completed, then only coding starts. If design is not completed, coding will not start. Waterfall, water always falls from top to bottom. There is no concept of going back. After design has been completed, coding starts. Only after coding has been completed, testing will start. The problem with the waterfall model is it is very difficult to estimate the time because one team is dependent on other team. What does that mean? Let me give you an example. The design team has given an estimate that they need 2 months to complete the design part. The design team has given an estimate that they need 2 months to complete the design. Assuming there are 100 programmers. Coding team is having 100 programmers. 100 programmers will wait for 2 months to complete the design. One team will wait for the other team to complete their job. Design team will wait for the technology components. Testing team will wait for the coding. Assuming coding team says that we need 6 months to complete the coding part. Assume the project manager has given an estimate that they need 100 programmers and 6 months time is required for coding. So testing team will wait for 6 months to complete the coding, because as per waterfall model, testing should start only after completing the coding. If coding has been delayed instead of 6 months, if it is 12 months, the testing team will wait for 12 months. Making a team of resources, waiting for 12 months. Are you utilizing the resources in ideal way? Resource management, are you perfectly managing the resources of organization? No. Testing team will wait for the coding part to get completed. Coding part will take 1 year. 100 programmers will wait for 2 months or 3 months for the design to be completed. Analysis to be completed. Requirements will take 2 months. So on that team will wait for the requirements, and analysis is okay. Analysis is all about taking the decisions. But rest of the team, rest of the stages is a time-consuming process. Testing team will wait for the coding to be completed. If coding is delayed, obviously testing is delayed, delivery is delayed. Design team will wait for the requirements to get completed. One team will wait for the other team. One team will wait for its previous team to get completed. There's a dependency between resources, which is causing the delay in the delivery. It is very, very difficult to meet the deadlines in the waterfall model. One of the most important disadvantages of the waterfall model is it is difficult to estimate the time because of dependency between one team to other team. It is very, very difficult to meet the deadlines in the waterfall model. That's one of the most important disadvantages. Next, once an application is in testing, it is very difficult to go back and change up. There is no concept of going back in the waterfall model. Assuming the requirements has been taken from the client on 1st January 2025. The first stage is requirements, right? My dear participants. Waterfall model, every model starts with requirements. Assuming requirements has been taken, requirements stage has been completed on 1st Jan 2025. As per the requirements are freezed in the waterfall model. And assuming January 1st requirements has been completed, requirements are freezed. Based on the freeze requirements, analysis happens. Based on the requirements, design happens. Based on the requirements, coding happens. Requirements cannot be altered. If client comes back after 1 month saying that there are small changes in our requirements, okay, the waterfall model does not encourage the clients to give new requirements. Rest of the process happens based on the freeze requirements. There is no concept of going back and changing the requirements. There is no concept of going back after coding. There is no concept of going back and changing the design. We need to move forward. Once the design is freezed, coding happens. Once the coding has been freezed, testing happens. There is no concept of going back and changing something. And that's the reason it is named as waterfall. Water cannot go back in waterfall. It needs to move forward. The same way, this model, we need to move forward. If the client says that there are some changes in the business and we want to make some changes in the requirements, this particular waterfall model does not encourage the clients to give new requirements, which is not at all feasible in the current industry. In the current industry, the business is very dynamic. Applications are very dynamic. You keep on changing the application. Have you observed the Facebook what you're looking at now is not the same Facebook which you're looking at 1 month back? It's on changing. Applications are keeps on changing. Business requirements are keeps on changing. Your model should be robust enough. The model should be robust enough so that it will take the new requirements and then deliver the new requirements also. So waterfall model does not encourage the clients. There is no concept of going back and changing something which is not in the concept stage. It is not good for complex and object-oriented projects. It is not so suitable. Waterfall model is not suitable where the requirements are at moderate at high risk of changing. So this model does not encourages the clients to give new requirements, does not suits for the requirements which are frequently changing, which is not at all feasible in the current industry. So this is the problem with the waterfall model. Difficult to meet the deadlines, dependency between the teams, not encouraging the clients to give new requirements. So that's the reason waterfall model is outdated now. It is successful 20 years back. Now the industry is not following waterfall model. The most widely used model in the industry now is agile model. Highly successful model as of now in the industry is agile model. What is agile model? Why it is highly successful? How it makes difference? How it makes the clients and the IT company happy? On a high level, there's a complete book on agile model, but I'm just showing you the gist of agile model so that you'll understand how agile model is beautiful. So let's try to understand agile model. The most widely used model in the industry now is an agile model. First, look at the theory. Look at the important terms which I'll be using in this theory, and I'll explain this particular theory with a simple example. Agile model is incremental model. Pick up the terms. Software is developed in rapid cycles. Okay, terminology. Pick up the terminology. You have to use this terminology in the interview. This results in incremental releases. Each release building on its previous functionality. Each release is thoroughly tested and make sure quality is maintained. Incremental, rapid cycles, build on its previous function. Okay, pick up the theory. Agile development method, agile software development method emphasizes on iterative, incremental, evolutionary, rapid cycles. Incremental, what does that mean? What is incremental? What is evolutionary? What is iterative? Let's try to understand agile model with a simple example. Assuming this is the client, am I right? This is the client, like an ICICI bank, expecting an internet banking application from an IT company. If you compare with the waterfall model, the waterfall model starts with what requirements, right? So this is how happens in the waterfall model. So what happens in the waterfall model? There'll be regular meetings between the client and the company. They take the requirements of personal banking. The IT company will take the requirements of privileged banking. Third module, fourth module, NRI banking, fifth module, sixth module, small and medium scale enterprises, corporate banking. So they take the requirements of all the departments and then they declare saying that the requirements has been completed. I'm talking about waterfall model. They take the requirements of all the departments and then declare saying that the requirements has been completed. After requirements, analysis, okay, it's not specific to module, design team. Design team will jump into action. The design team will design the personal banking module. The design team will take the privileged banking module. The design team will take the wealth banking module. Design team will design the private banking. So they take the NRI banking. So like this, they design all the modules and then they declare saying that the design stage has been completed. I'm talking about waterfall model. Requirements completed, design team. After design, what happens? Coding. Programmers will jump into action. They develop the code for personal banking module. Programmers will take the code for privilege banking. Programmers will develop the wealth banking module, private banking module, NRI banking module, and business banking module. Small and medium scale enterprises, they complete the code for all the modules and they declare to the client saying that the programming coding part has been completed. Next, testing. Testing team will test the module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4. Got it? They test all the modules. Assuming positive, they declare saying that the testing has been completed. And then once the testing has been completed, assuming everything is positive, the entire application is delivered at once. This is what happens in waterfall model. Am I right? Whereas the approach of agile model is completely different. How agile model works? How is it different from the waterfall model? How it can overcome the disadvantages of the waterfall model? Try to understand very clearly on a high level. Any model starts with requirements. They take the agile model, take the requirements of module 1. Okay, module 1 requirements has been completed. The requirements team will move on to module 2, privilege banking. When the requirements team is busy with module 2, okay, technology components are decided. The design team will jump into action. The design team will start designing module 1. Are you understanding? Why do you want design team to wait for all the requirements to be completed? Anyways, one module is completed, right? Design team will jump into action. They start designing the first module. So here, two teams are in action. The requirements team busy taking the requirements of module 1. The design team is busy designing module 2. Requirements team is taking the requirements of second module. Design team start designing the first module. In the next iteration, assuming the requirements has been taken for module 2, requirements team will move on to module 3. Assume the design has been completed. The design team busy designing the second module. After design, what happens? Coding team will jump into action. The coding team will start working on the code for module 1. Are you understanding, my dear friends? How many teams are busy now? 3 teams are busy. Requirements team busy with module 3, third module. Design team is busy with second module. Coding team is busy with first module. The next iteration, requirements team busy with module 4. Design team busy with module 3. Coding team busy with module 2 because the coding of the first module has been completed. Testing team is busy module 1. Entire workforce is in action. You are breaking the dependencies between one team to other team. If testing has been completed, we deliver the first module to the client. In Agile, there is iterative, incremental. It is not hard and fast rule that we should deliver the entire application at once. No, at least client is happy. They can experience how exactly the first module is working. Re-understanding. Got it? Clear? So design team, requirements team taking the requirements of NRI banking, design team designing private banking, coding team working on wealth banking, testing team working on privilege banking because the first module testing has been done, and we deliver the first module to the customer. If the customer gives the new requirements, we repeat the same cycle again. Waterfall model does not encourage, agile model encourages the clients to, clients are experiencing how application is looking at. Are you responding? Are you understanding my difference? Please respond in the chat box. The chat is open. Are you understanding? The entire workforce is in action. When the entire workforce is in action, you are breaking the dependencies between one team to other team. Are you understanding the difference between the waterfall model and agile model? When the entire workforce is in action, you can meet the deadlines easily. From the organization, IT company is happy because the entire workforce is action. Client is happy. They're experiencing the application. Iterative, incremental, agile model encourages the clients to give new requirements. That makes the difference. So agile model is very robust. Okay, so very robust enough to meet the requirements. That's why the terminology is very important. So if the waterfall model, conclusion, if the waterfall model takes 2 years time to build an application, the same model using agile methodology, you can just deliver it in 1 year. Entire workforce is in action. If the waterfall model is taking 2 years, the same application, if you deliver it using agile model, just takes 1 year. Such a faster rate, the agile model makes a difference because an agile model encourages the clients to give new requirements. The entire industry shifted to agile model. The complete IT industry is now shifted to agile model. Now the industry is facing such a situation that even agile model clients are not ready to wait for 1 year long participants. Now the industry is in such a phase, the clients are giving the requirements now. They don't want to wait for 1 year. They want the applications to be delivered in much more faster rate. Can we develop the application in 4 months? Just 6 months. They're not ready to wait for 1 year also. When compared to waterfall model, agile model is good enough. But now the industry is expecting much more faster way of building an application. Clients are not ready to wait for 1 year. They want the applications to be built in such a faster rate, in spite of any model. In spite of any model, even the agile model is now, customers are saying that even agile model is now slow. When compared to waterfall model, it's speeder. But now, clients are not ready to wait for 1 year of time for the products to be delivered. So, out of Fortune 500 companies, okay, top 10 IT companies have done a research work to understand the term called delay. In spite of using agile model, they have taken an analysis why there is a delay in the software development lifecycle. After doing a research analysis, they came with a statement saying that the delay in the software development lifecycle, even though agile is used, is because of one important statement: the gap between development team and operations team. After doing research work to understand the delay in spite of agile model, they have identified the reason. The reason in the software development lifecycle delay, irrespective of any model which is used, the main reason for the delay is the gap between development team and operations team. The gap between development team and operations team is causing the delay in the software development lifecycle. So, my dear participants, you have to understand this statement, the problem statement, gap between development team and operations team. You have to understand this statement. If you want to understand this statement, you have to understand two important terminologies: what is development team and what is operations team. If you want to clearly understand the problem statement, if you want to understand this problem statement, you have to understand two important terminologies: what is development team and what is operations team. So let's try to spend some time understanding the two important terms, development team and operations team. To start with, let's try to understand development team. What is development team? You may have a question, silly. Still, development team, it's very simple. It's a group of developers. You are right. If it is a Java project, group of Java developers is a development team. If it is a Python project, group of Python developers building an application is a development team. Development team is easy to visualize. Group of developers, they take the requirements, they take the documents, and they develop the application. Yes, you are right. Development team is very easy to visualize. We all know what developers will do. Let's try to understand what is operations team. Let's try to understand what is operations. Ops team. Look at this, my dear participants. Assuming a small software company, small software development companies of 100 employees. Assume a small company, a software development company of 100 employees, building a particular application or whatever it is. In a company of 100 employees, 100 billable employees for a specific client. Assume 100 billable resources for a client. In a company of 100 employees, do you think right from the first employee to the last employee, every employee is a developer? Do you think it is the right? Or top IT companies like Infosys, Wipro, TCS, they claim that there are thousands of employees worldwide. Every employee working in the IT company, you think they are developers? Do you think every IT resource who are working in the IT industry, everybody is a developer? It is not the case. In our example of 100 employees, please don't understand, especially for people who are freshers or having no experience, don't think that every employee is a developer and don't think the only developers are great. So if a group of 100 employees, a group of 100 employees of a particular software company, don't think that every employee is a developer. Probably 50% are development. There are other set of 50 resources, other set of 50 resources who are not development team. But still they are employed. Isn't it? 100 employees are there. Only 50% are developers. Even if the other 50% are also billable. So do not be under the impression that only development team is important. There are a set of other people who belong to non-development team. They're very critical. This set of people who do not develop into coding part, but they're very critical, is called as, the other set of people is called as operations team. The group of people who are billable to the client, who are into non-development team, are called as operations team. The other set B. So you may have a question, Sunil, what is the responsibilities of the operations team? Development team, we can visualize, they develop the application, they write the code. That's good. What are the day-to-day responsibilities of the operations team? Why they are responsible? Why they are very important? Let's try to understand the term operations team. Once you're very clear in understanding the operations team, then you'll understand the problem statement, the gap between development team and operations team. Let's focus on operations team. People call it as ops team. What are the responsibilities of the operations team? Maintaining the servers. It is who responsibility to maintain the development servers, testing servers, and production servers. Operations team. Configuring the servers, configuring the networks, configuring the cyber storage, configuring the cyber security, monitoring the servers 24/7, change management, performance outage, responding to the outages, maintaining cyber security, version controlling, backup and disaster, production support. You need a lot of talented people to manage all these resources. Critical infrastructure. Do you think developers will handle any of these points? Tell me. Do you think developers are responsible for any of the single point? No. If the server is not responding happily, development team will send a mail saying that servers are not responding. This is who's responsible to monitor the 24/7, making sure the servers are perfectly running, making sure the backups are perfectly happening, responding to the outages, version controlling, change control, backup and disaster recovery, maintaining the networks. Windows administrators, network administrators, Linux administrators, cybersecurity engineers, database administrators. These are all skilled resources. This set of people comes under operations team. But without operations team, development team cannot make any progress a single day also. Such a strong dependency will be there between development team and operations team. If the operations team does not work, development team cannot achieve any progress. So both goes hand in hand. For an application to be delivered once it goes live, to maintain the production support, operations team is very, very important. I'm sure most of you are also from the operations team. Now the problem statement, the gap is because development team and operations team. I'll give a simple example. Development team needs, assuming development team needs working on SQL Server database. Development team is working on some SQL Server database. Now instead of SQL Server, development team wants to experience how the application is behaving with respect to Oracle database. Now what they want, development team needs Oracle database environment. It is whose responsibility to install Oracle on the server and provide the database details to the development team. We'll be doing it. There is a skilled resource called DBA, database administrators. They belong to operations team. It is a DBA's responsibility to install Oracle database as per the specific version and then make the database server ready and provide the credentials to the development team so that they work on the Oracle database. If the DBA is not available, skilled resource is not available, he is on leave for 3 days. So what's happening? Gap. Development team cannot make any progress because the environment is not available. Skilled resources are not available. Either the infrastructure is not available, whatever could be the reason, is giving a gap in the development process. One example. So these are the problem statements which are causing the delay in the software development lifecycle. And these gaps can be filled. These gaps can be filled with a new term called DevOps. The reason for the delay is because of the gap between development team and operations team. That gap can be filled by DevOps team. The term DevOps is derived from two words, development and operations. We as a DevOps engineer are responsible to coordinate with the development team and operations team. If the DBA is not available, using Docker, we can provide the environment and provide the details to the development team so that they can, instead of waiting, they can proceed with the development activity. Infrastructure we can provide, you don't need to learn the DBA. Are you understanding? So DevOps and its importance. The term DevOps, as I told you, is derived from two important words, development team and operations team. What is the responsibility of a DevOps engineer? It is a methodology. It's not a technology, it's a method. What that method will do, it promotes collaboration between development team and operations team. What happens when there is proper collaboration between development team and operations team, which will deploy code into production much more faster, automation. Implementing automation in software development lifecycle, which makes the software development lifecycle much more faster approach, enable rapid development products. And this DevOps is a methodology. This methodology can be implemented by using tools. Tools is a technology. DevOps is a methodology, and that methodology can be implemented by using DevOps tools. By using these DevOps tools, we will be collaborating the development team and the operations team, helping the clients and the IT companies to speed up the software development lifecycle. Did you understand the crux of the DevOps? So every DevOps engineer, so what are the course contents which are covered as part of our training course? Every DevOps engineer should be comfortable with Linux, because all the DevOps tools will be managing using Linux commands. We'll spend some time understanding Linux, and then we'll be moving on to this set of tools which will be covered as part of our training course. We start with Git, that is called as version controlling, source code management tool. Okay, so we'll start with Git. We'll learn Maven, that's a builder tool. We'll learn Jenkins, that is a CI/CD. You learn Docker infrastructure management, Docker Swarm orchestration tool, Kubernetes, Ansible, Nagios, Terraform. So these are the tools which are covered as part of our training course. Once you are clear with these particular tools, you'll be very confident attending the interview, understanding the concept of DevOps. From the operations team, you can migrate to DevOps. Traditionally, there will be two teams, development and operations. When DevOps is implemented, most of the companies are implementing DevOps methodology. When DevOps is implemented, there will be three teams: development team, operations team, and DevOps. There will be three teams. It is a responsibility of the DevOps team to promote collaboration using these tools. To promote collaboration using the tools. So these are the tools which will be covered as part of our training course. Each session is recorded. Every session is recorded, and after the session, you'll have access to the recording. As started today, session starts at 11 AM in India. The duration of each session is approximately 1 hour. The session starts from Monday to Friday. There is no session on Saturday and Sunday. Got it? I hope you understood what is software development lifecycle and agile model. Agile model is also causing delay because of gap between development team and operations team. And we can fill the gap as a DevOps engineers. How to fill the gap using the use cases, using these tools. Clear? Clear about this? Perfect. So this is what we have planned for today's session. Now it's time for closing. It's time for questions. Any questions on today's session? Yes, Bharati.
Sunil, like you just showed, what are all the tools like which we will be using, like Linux, Jenkins, Maven, Git, and everything. So if we do not have, say for example, if I'm, I'm a person like who is going to start from scratch.
Please proceed.
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please proceed.
Okay, so from scratch. So, is there any homework required for?
Not required. The only
Okay.
prerequisite is Linux, that anyways I'm covering. Okay. And
Okay.
all these DevOps tools we'll be learning on AWS cloud. Okay.
Okay.
All the
Okay.
set of tools. So my dear participants, if you're learning DevOps, okay, DevOps is Vanati, as I told you, DevOps set of tools. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
All the set
Yeah.
of tools, what I have listed. Okay, we can learn this set of tools on AWS. The same set of tools, we can learn it on Microsoft Azure. The same set of tools, we can learn it on Google Cloud.
Okay.
The tools will remain the same. If you learn it on AWS, then you are called as AWS DevOps professional. If you learn it on Azure, you are called as Azure DevOps. If you learn it on GCP, you are called as GCP DevOps professional. Hey. Hey.
Okay.
So coming to our course, if you look at the title of the course, this is DevOps on AWS.
AWS.
So all the set of tools what we'll be learning on AWS. Next point. You may have a question. Sunil, I am zero in AWS. Participants, you may have a question. Sunil, I am learning DevOps. This is my first class. You said all the tools we'll be learning on AWS cloud. I am zero in AWS. Can I learn? Yes, you can. Whatever the knowledge required to understand DevOps with respect to AWS, I will cover. For a DevOps professional, 20% of AWS concepts. Participants, I repeat, for a DevOps professional, for my particular course, 20% of AWS concepts are required. The 20% of AWS prerequisites I will be covering as part of this particular course. So the 20% of AWS concepts which are required for this particular DevOps course, I will cover, and Linux commands also I will cover, so that you will be comfortable working with DevOps tools. Moreover, if you want to be confident attending the interview, prerequisite I'll cover, but every interview now expected to have, every resource is expected to have strong knowledge on AWS concepts. Everyone is expected to be strong in AWS. So don't remain yourself with the 20% what I'm telling. The remaining 80% you have to learn by yourself by enrolling for if required, if you want to enroll exclusively AWS course, which anyways we are starting maybe in 10 days. Okay, but I strongly recommend whatever the DevOps tools, what I will be teaching, the 20% of AWS concepts, I will be covering it. Okay, Vanati?
Okay. Sunil, say for example, like, I'm joining this course, but in next 10 days, you are going to start the next, the complete AWS course
I am
as
not the
you.
instructor. We have a different
Okay.
instructor. That's a different topics.
Okay, but then like we will not be completing this
There is no
training.
dependency.
Okay.
People learn AWS first and then come to DevOps. People learn DevOps on AWS and then learn AWS also. Vice versa is also good.
Okay. Okay. So sorry for the interruption, Sunil. Is there any other batch which you will be starting for the same for DevOps as of now? Because my.
Today I am starting DevOps. My next batch
Okay.
will start after 1 month.
Okay.
Okay, in the
But with
month
the
of
same timing. But with the same
no,
timing.
it's a different.
Okay. My only difficulty is
Any specific
with
technical questions, you can mail us to support@logic.labs. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Alan, it's very late night for
Hey.
you. How is today's
Yeah,
session?
yeah.
Did you
Yeah,
enjoy?
thank you. Thank you. Oh my God, this is life transforming. Question I have for the time. So next tomorrow, what time do we meet every time?
Same
11
time.
a.m. Okay, 12:30 Eastern time, my time.
Is that okay for you?
Yeah, I mean that's fine. If it's earlier,
No
it will be
pain, no pain, no gain.
no. I think next question I have.
Anyways, in case if you miss the session, Alan, you can take the advantage of recorded session and catch up for the next day.
Okay, awesome.
You
Oh
can,
yeah, I appreciate that. This is awesome. This is really great.
thank you. So continuation of this session, like how we have started today, tomorrow also we start at the same time. Okay, Sagar.
I have a question.
Yes, please. Alan,
Is
continue.
it possible? This is, I don't know for others. Is it possible to move this? I mean, to move this training to, because kind of 12:30 a.m. is kind of too late. Is it possible to move it to like 11 p.m.?
The timing is freezed.
It's
We have
fixed. Okay.
closed that we have
Okay.
already close to 60 participants enrolled for this particular time. Okay.
Okay.
If you want a different time, you have to wait for 20 days to 25 days to get the next
No,
calendar. It starts at a
that
different time. Okay.
that's fine. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Sagar.
Yeah, that's a great session actually, Sunil. Really loved it. As I think you have already answered my question. As a technical support engineer, I supposed to interact with the DevOps team already. It's a company is a member of AWS.
You're closely working with DevOps team.
Yeah, correct. So what we send the request is it might be some customers needed FTP paths
Correct.
to it's a part of AWS, right? Completely AWS. So, but as you already answered, it's important to learn. Companies are expecting full knowledge on the AWS. Yeah, correct.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So I strongly recommend, along with DevOps, enroll for exclusive AWS course so that
Yeah.
you'll become a full-fledged professional, confidently getting into the DevOps team.
That's
Okay.
great. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Manas,
Yeah, Sunil. So as part of this core content, so we'll have some installations, right, to practice offline.
obviously, all these we will be installing from the scratch by ourselves on where? Not on personal laptops. Everything will be installing it on AWS.
Okay. I mean, we can access it throughout day.
All these tools we will be installing, Manas,
Yeah.
on AWS platform.
Correct.
Got it?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
how to
Sure.
create an AWS account, how to use AWS cloud platform, and how to manage these tools on AWS. We'll be learning it once we get into practicals.
Sure. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Because DevOps is all on cloud, Manas. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
we have to be very comfortable working with AWS also. Even though you are zero in AWS, Manas, don't worry. I make you comfortable on AWS environment also.
Yeah, that is what I expect. Yeah.
Don't
Thank you so
worry.
much.
Don't worry.
Sure. Thank you so
Babji,
much.
good morning, Babji. You are now allowed to unmute. Okay. Thank you all for joining the session. And one more important point, there is a WhatsApp group created for this particular batch. I hope you are already in the WhatsApp group. But in case if you're not in or not, there is a WhatsApp community for this particular batch. This is batch number 395. I'm sending the WhatsApp community link. I have just sent you on the chat. Please pick up the WhatsApp community link, or you can also pick up the WhatsApp community link from our website, logiclabstech.com. Go to upcoming batches. This is a WhatsApp community link. Okay. I strongly recommend all of you, please join the community for updates. We'll be planning for workshops. Okay. Free workshops and some project sessions on DevOps. So, and updates about this day-to-day trainings also. Every day I'll be sending the audio message about the plan for the next session. I strongly recommend to enroll for this. Join the WhatsApp community to get the updates about this particular batch, exclusively batch number 395. This is batch number 395. Thank you all. I hope you have enjoyed the session. The continuation of this session will be tomorrow. Tomorrow is we learn how to create a AWS account, because all these tools will be installing on AWS. I'm sure you already have some AWS account. For the people who are completely new to AWS, tomorrow's session is very important. We'll be learning how to create a new AWS account, and we get started with AWS. Then have a good time. Thank you very much. Signing off, Sunil. Good time. Thank you.